Already recording. Yeah, I just unmuted. Carl, can you hear us?
Carl?
I can now, yes.
So just a few minutes. I'd like to, we'll open the meeting at 7:05. Have kind of a lengthy agenda, but I would like to make one announcement. 45, if you're here for 45, 49 Uxbridge Road, they did ask for a continuance. They will not be presenting anything tonight. So if there's anybody here for that. Okay. Minutes, we really,
Yeah, not yet. No.
did you get a chance to see them?
Motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Motion, Mike, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Carl Hummel, yes.
All opposed, none? Okay, so we accept the minutes. Public hearing start at 7:15, so we'll just wait a few minutes, okay?
Vacancy can be 10 minutes late.
Just the opening is not.
It's the mail, put right there.
Nothing.
There's a CLC there for the letter. 2 copies and a couple of them.
So we have land survey for 8 Leonard Road.
Yeah, Form 8 for CLC, sorry. Amherst Building.
You know, it's crazy when I first saw that. They were killed.
Oh, about 10 minutes later.
Just what we need.
Public hearing starts at 7:15. So we have a representative for 34 George Street here. Are you representing George Street?
No,
No, okay.
Mr. Alfonso. Morrison Drive.
Okay. George Street?
Yeah. It negotiated $5,000.
Mhm.
The town's gonna hire a landscaper and they did the seeding. I think it worked that well. Was and one done by,
Yeah, I did see emails about that. I wasn't at the last meeting, but yeah.
so I think that went through.
But we were waiting for an asphalt. Isn't that correct?
Hey, you can sign
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think,
Sign off on it.
Carl, Carl, didn't you bring that up? We need an as-built for the George Street project? Is that what we were waiting for?
It's one of the things we would be waiting for, as well as the $5,000. And we've done the research saying that someone has actually gone and done the work for stabilizing the side of the hill.
So I don't know if we received an as-built yet or not. I don't know. They're not here yet, so They may be showing up so we can find out.
Check the file.
Or Damon might know if it came in the mail.
Hear about bikes, is that,
If anyone-
they didn't make it this
I know it's with the sale of them. Yes, we should be.
Is there anybody here from Leonard Road? Want to have a conversation?
No, I just got an update, if he doesn't know. We'll see anybody from the selectmen here. We haven't received any exact communication.
I got Leonard Road right here.
Yeah, so we have a survey.
Yeah, I printed copies.
Yeah.
Okay, did you print copies of
AB
A and B of,
Yeah.
for Dudley, for Pond Street?
on the street. It's.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, there.
No.
You print from here, for that?
Is it-
I'm on the Wi-Fi. I'm not sure. You want to send me an email?
Oh,
I
you
can
might.
try.
I'm doing well. But,
She suggested if you want to send her an email, she can try it. I don't know what printer.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I can probably tell you which printer that is. If not, I can probably have one.
That Dan's downstairs with the water.
Okay, so,
We have anybody here from Vincent Road?
is anybody here from 45, 49 Oxford Road? You don't know if that's continuing?
No, that's continuing, right? So,
45, 49 is continued.
It just came in.
oh, you just came in, yeah, we announced, they are continuing that.
Okay.
They're not coming in tonight.
Okay.
In case you didn't want to.
Yeah.
They don't have a DEP file number yet.
We saw that. Okay.
So they will not be presenting. They're not here.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay?
We were just notified like an hour ago.
You're welcome to stay.
Watch the show.
We got 149 Oxford Road here? 149 Oxford Road. 56 Oxford Road? Okay. So just another minute and we'll,
56 Oxford Road, all the paperwork is on its way, we got my office.
okay.
And, so I'll have, no, everything.
Okay, so do you want to come on up and explain, 56 Oxford Road?
Yeah.
Come on up, miss.
I just emailed that to you.
I'm waiting for a number.
Let's see.
Actually, really,
How are you,
all
Mr. Hackinson? Good. That's good.
we needed is
So, 56 Oxford Road, notice of intent filed by land planning, proposed demolition of existing dwelling and construction of a new house within the buffer zone. So, we don't have any plans to it, but they are in. So, is there any slope that you're dealing with or anything that, so,
Which house is it?
yeah.
You know the house that they redid, they rebuilt
They
that house?
rebuilt one.
The one to the right of that.
To the right, as you look at it, to the right of it?
Yeah.
Okay, because then there's one, who's on the left, the auto guy, what's his name?
No, that's Bob. That's Bob. Bob lives in that house now, right?
Yeah, Bob's okay, you talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bob's Auto Marine.
Yeah.
Okay, because how many houses, are there like 4 houses there, no, or that's 3?
You have two.
I'd say 2.
Hartford Ave, West, just 4th Thornton Street, there's 3 houses, there's a
Oh,
wetland
this
there.
is Oxford
No,
Road.
that's 56 Oxford Road.
Yeah.
So what is this next to? What is this next to?
Times Street.
What is this next to in relation to 50?
It's right across from 45, 49 Oxford Road. They built a new house there, long skinny house they built, they did it, and they did it,
Okay,
tied a septic system into both houses are shared septic. I
Okay.
don't think he owns both.
To the right of the boathouse?
To the right of the marina, probably by what, 3 houses?
Yeah, three.
I know, okay. I know.
Yeah.
Bob's Auto, the guy that used to work at the marina.
So, this, you're gonna do the next one? You're gonna knock it down?
Knocking this one down, putting one up. In fact, the one that they were talking about, exact same thing we're gonna put for this one.
You're gonna move it away from the water more, right? I think that I was talking to Bill about it.
Yeah. It's a wet area, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a
We
video?
are gonna move it.
Is, so we have a file number on it yet? Not yet?
No.
Is it gonna be a tank tank or septic system?
No,
Yeah, there's a file number, yeah.
it's a regular septic system, no.
Put it on the agenda.
Does the
There is a file.
existing system, you don't have to replace the field?
Well, we,
He said all the
we did the
paperwork is
septic- we
just
did the
filled
septic
out.
system
It's in it.
4 years ago.
I just forgot.
For each house.
40 years ago, so it's plan 5 or it's been.
Yeah,
Give me 5 minutes, my son's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you wanna just, you know, do
All
my,
right, we're gonna be getting the paperwork in, so, you wanna just hang out for a little bit? We don't have all the plans yet.
All right.
They're on the way.
okay, yeah, maybe Bill has,
Is it?
or Bill was gonna be.
Oh, okay, well, maybe if.
and I will, whatever you sent me, whatever he sent me, a manila envelope I have,
Oh.
it's at my office, my son's bringing it, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Oh, all right,
So if you give me about 10 minutes, he'll be here.
good, because I couldn't help you if you wanted to.
No, I'm good. Thank you. Now, listen, hey, guys. The, plan board went through everything that Jeff lost and a bunch of things. That's everything. So, just so you guys know what's going on there.
All right. So do we have, 5 Morrison Drive here?
One of that. Oh, yeah, no, it's it. Yes. You want to know what I'm doing?
I have some full-size copies of the
I don't know if you
plans.
could put one up for the crowd and, so it's not a possible.
Is anybody here for 5 Morrison Drive? That would like to see some prints? No people. Do you have any, so what do you have, full sets?
That's a whole set. This full Drexel, by the way, and the engineer.
Peter Johnson, Bill House with the owners. It's so bad.
You see, when you look at this plan up here, it shows quite a bit.
You have some, yeah, can I have one of those copies? The small one?
EOD, right? That's not.
Sure, we all have. So, thank you for putting that up. So are you all through with planning board?
Yes.
All through?
Yes.
And Board of Health?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
That's next on our agenda. We have the area shown for our septic and approximate size for it. We're just gonna run that by Board of Health. And
You don't have an DEP number yet, right?
I don't
think so, no. DEP number?
The DEP number is 218.
You have a DEP
Oh, wait.
file?
You have one, okay, I just didn't see it on the agenda, but okay.
Yeah,
You got, you have it, that's all.
we have it, yes.
You have it.
So that implies they might be, the comments?
So we've reviewed this
Yeah.
before too. You-
218-4820.
But he didn't have a DEP number at that point, I think. And he wasn't done with the planning board, he was going to the planning board as well. This was in front of us, I
This has been
think.
going on for a while.
Monday, or last Monday, before last.
That was planning, right?
Plan.
Yeah, no, but you were in front of us, back in,
What
before,
it was, we had Joe McHugh here.
was it before Christmas?
Yeah, it was over.
He was here. I happened to be away that week.
I think it's
Okay,
called,
so
it's
you're,
called the Pascal for, they right there, yep. Oop, nope, 3051.
Yeah, we have a second plan for that.
Okay.
So the proposed septic system is,
Second plan would be C11. C11 is in shape there. There's a couple of blanks to fill in. You're gonna have to lift that sewage into the septic system. So there's gonna be a little pumping station out front for that.
okay, so you're gonna pump it.
The pipe is gonna get deeper. The main sewer is gonna get deeper than.
So you have to pump up to the land.
Sorry?
No, so it'd be, the solids will stay in the tank.
Yeah, we have a septic tank in front of each building. And the solids will fall out and we'll just pump it in. There won't be any grinder pump.
So is
we have
is it in the buffer zone?
No, we're in, 50-foot buffer,
So this is the proposed septic area right here in orange.
yes, yes.
So, you've done testing or no?
Yes, we have,
Okay.
yeah.
So you have your perk test?
Yes, I put that testing information to the planning board and their consultant. So I had to put it in.
Make sure.
Oh,
For them to.
all right, so, the arc of the buffer zone in relation to the leach field is, so I see the, flagging. How far from the buffer zone are we? From the wetlands, I'm sorry.
It's the exit order.
We are in the 100-foot,
You're within 100 feet, the leach field is within, how close is it?
it's probably, I'd say about, it's gonna end up being about 75 feet away.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got some in my computer to go a little farther too.
These are all tight tanks.
It's, you have to be at least 50, so I don't see any.
0.7.
Those are all tight tanks. Did we hear that correctly? They're all tight tanks.
No, it's a pump chamber,
Oh, okay.
so it's probably high ground.
And the walls that you see there, we have one for each building. But what we're gonna try, the building number 1 and 2, we're gonna see if we can get enough capacity with those two buildings on one level. We have one for each one, right now shown, and if there's one well for those two instead.
So
So there's 2 wells instead of 3.
is it depending on what type of, what, quantity you got.
Exactly. So that's one thing we're trying to do. We were able to, go on the field, our biologist and Emily went on the field. They took a look at the wetland edge and, the wetland edge that you see here reflects what they agreed to in the field. We had a couple flags, to the south just a little bit. Is it by and large?
At whose request? At whose request?
Emily's.
Oh,
Yeah. And, yeah, Joe McHugh and Emily went out there together to review the line. And that's what we ended up with. Moving.
So was the biologist a professional wetland scientist that approved the moving of the flags?
I'm sorry, say again?
Is he a professional biologist?
Yes, his report, I gave the report.
this is the report.
He's a certified wetland biologist.
Okay, thanks, yeah.
I've known Joe for a long, long time.
So, I might get kind of the drainage, it's hard to see which plan. The major question I have is, these are big buildings. And I see, 6-inch diameter downspout. And I see behind each of the building proposed pervious surface grass pavers equal 16-foot wide. So a couple questions. One is the pervious grass. Is that to allow drainage along the back of the building? What is that?
What we wanted to do is, we wanted to minimize the amount of impervious pavement because of the runoff collection quantity. Number one. And then number two is that this would be an area that would recharge some of the rainwater or whatever into that.
It's like Colfax that's going down the center. Everything's being piped
Wait,
in.
why not hear different things? Into the ground or into cultivation?
Well,
It's right there.
Well, I'm talking about a 16-foot, something you could drive on if you had
Yes,
to.
yes.
Infiltrating, but so my question is, what is it infiltrating? Just the rain that hits it above?
Now,
Or is
this,
there anything coming through? I can't tell by the
Are you
grade.
recharging the roof, are you recharging any of the roof drains in there?
That's my follow-up.
We have two options. One is without gutters and downspouts, sheet flow off the building, or gutters and downspouts.
But what did the planning board approve? What did Jeff Walsh approve?
what's on the plans right
Okay,
now?
so that's what you gotta do.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
Well, what's on the plan? My feeble eyes don't tell me nothing.
Right.
So what is it, the gutter and downspout? or-
Just look at the-
What sheet,
If you look at the drainage and utility plan,
Yeah.
which is the,
What, C7 and C8?
I'm looking at 7, 8, and I see blue, but that's water line, and then I do see the 6-inch diagonal downspout.
is,
So I'm suggesting putting a downspout, but does the downspout go into a French
Yeah,
drain?
See the blue line, see the blue line, it's connected. Which ones?
plans C7 and C8 show the collection of that roof.
The blue line.
Okay, so that means it's all connected by gravity. Coming into the pipe. So then the answer to the question of the roof runoff is it's all getting collected and then going, where's that pipe?
Infiltration, it's going in the ground. These are
There's-
infiltrators.
It goes into a central infiltrator
Yeah, you see the long blue
in the
Yeah,
middle.
that's
right in the middle? That's and then there's a perforated 48-inch diameter pipe. And that one that runoff from the roofs is collected, goes in there separately from the pavement runoff. So we're not draining pavement runoff into that.
You're catching the
That's
roof.
going into the detention pond. So once that 48-inch pipe, which is good for a 100-year storm, if that fills up and overflows, that will go into the detention pond. But like I said, it's above, that invert of that pipe from this infiltration system is above the 100-year flood limit in the detention pond. So you won't get flow back into that pipe from the detention pond.
So that you're telling me there's going to be gutters to the length of both sides of those 3 buildings?
Say again, John?
There'll be gutters, both sides of the building. All 3 buildings will have gutters
On the back end.
On the back.
One slope.
And what's on the front side? It's just one flat.
It's a slope
It's
roof.
a shed type slope.
Yeah.
So it's all.
So it's a
going
mon-
one
it's a
way.
All goes to the back.
It's a mono pitch roof.
Everything goes to the back. I do have a drawing in here as a rendering that shows that roof.
That elevation.
That just seems like a whole lot. You're saying that.
And everything is draining to the back of the building and collected there and brought around.
6-inch pipe or 9? That's 6 inch.
It's about, it's not very good in 60 feet. All the pipe is perforated.
Yes, that's 48-inch perforated. Yes,
Provisions for 500-year storms, those are more.
100 years long. I don't know, that's changing. We
I know.
So, you're raising a good portion of this site up. You're raising this site up.
A little bit, yes. The site had already been stripped and cut down.
Right, right.
And we're trying to work with what we have that's there.
Okay.
The nearest we can calculate right now is we're gonna have a surplus of fill coming out of there because of the foundations and so forth, about 4,000 cubic yards. Like I said, that's not carved in stone as yet. That's at a rough estimate of how much.
So, do you have a use for this shed?
What?
Yeah, we're office warehouse. Primarily warehouse for contractors with an office show front.
Contractors rented or unrented?
Rented.
And,
Just got a quick question. On the north side, there's a steep slope. Is that going down? And these buildings are sitting up on a platform?
That slope is going down. That's the side where the bus company is.
Okay, so help me with that. It seems a lot of lines there in a
It's
short
way up high.
space. So tell me what's the difference in the slope over how long? That's 10 feet?
8 feet.
It is quite a bit, and it varies from the front of the property to the back.
Well, say where the, whatever that box is you got.
Right in front.
Maximum's 8 feet.
8 feet over how long? I want to know what slope. Is that a 3-to-1 slope? Or is
The
it-
slope, it's a 1.5 to 1, or 2 to 1
And
actually.
is this a slope that you're creating or that's a slope that's there?
Well, what we're doing is we're grading into the slope that's there. And it's all gonna be about 1.5 to 1 actually. By the time we're done.
The elevation
It's
of
an existing.
the bus terminal, I think, and the elevation of your property is like, this is their property.
Yeah, so the slope's already there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All along the way.
And so what's on that slope that stops it from moving?
Right now, it's overgrown with some vegetation. There's some pines along that edge there.
And that would be, you'll leave that there?
Are you disturbing that slope at all?
We're adding.
Yeah. Those trees will stay and we'll work around that. I don't think we're gonna be impacting those trees at all.
Are you disturbing that slope at all?
Up to a certain point, yes, you'll see the solid black lines. That's what we're matching in our grade to the slope that's there.
I can't tell what's solid black versus what's existing.
Well, the heavy black line are the proposed contours.
So it seems to me you're going to be wiping out that slope halfway through.
Where does the,
It's gonna probably, yeah, it's gonna be.
If it's all vegetated, you're going to have the vegetated slope.
The pine trees are in the back. The pine trees are in the back and they're set back farther than I would have worked.
So I in the back, you mean along the boundary?
The building 3 or 1?
I'm looking at building one. And then.
Yes, building one,
And
yeah.
then it looks like where you stop work,
They both have-
you do active work for half of the slope. And then if the slope is continued, you're not doing work for the ladder. The buildings are how far from the property line? 50 feet, what's the scale?
It'd be 30 feet.
30
Step back, 30, 40.
So if that grass pervy area is 16 feet, it looks to me like you're going to be changing the slope on 16, 20 feet. And then you're leaving like another 15 undisturbed. Is that the way you did that?
This area in the front, where you see all the lines.
Yeah.
In the front of building 1.
Is that the front?
In front of the property.
The back.
Back of building 1 toward the front of the property. You
Okay.
see a lot of these
Yeah.
flat contour lines.
Yeah.
That's pretty well flat in there anyway.
Not gonna be
And
flat,
there's
there's a lot of
nothing
water.
there. There's
That's what the
no
proposal
pines
was.
there. The screen trees are those pine trees that go along the top or in the rear of the
So
property.
I guess what he's getting at is any slope that you're gonna disturb, what's your finish gonna be on it after? Isn't that what you're
The
getting at?
finish is, the finish is that we're gonna stabilize it with, what they call a grass paved product.
Okay.
And that's good for 1.5 to 1, slope. And, it's sort of like a mat that goes down.
Like a Curlex?
Like a geoweb,
Okay.
a geogrid.
Yeah.
And then you mow or hit it with a weed whacker, or how does it,
Yeah,
it doesn't grow up too much, or
It just dies out.
dies out?
Yeah, just after a while,
Wildflower or mix or something.
I don't know what you want to plant there. You want to be careful that you don't, it's something that's going to be invasive.
Yeah, it's an industrial site, I'm not looking for aesthetics, I'm just looking for,
Something that'll
a slope, a
stabilize
slope.
ground cover
And
and
there's no buffer zone on that side, is that correct?
That's exactly what it goes. Way outside of the.
Yep, okay. So, domestic, well, you said you wanted to, you may have 2, you may have 3. What about sprinkler? How you doing?
It's sprinkler.
it'll be a cistern. How big is the
There's a
cistern?
cistern in each
Yeah.
building.
On the south side, on the south end of,
5,000
building
gallons.
1, we've run this by the fire chief. We have a 10,000 gallon tank underground.
Is it gonna be
And that's
fed by
gonna-
its own well?
That's going to run sprinklers in the building.
Yes, it has a well, yeah.
Where's that well?
Well, no, it'll be the same well, it'll be filled up.
That tank is going to be filled.
Okay, so
It's not
it's
standalone.
gonna come from one of the wells?
Yeah.
Yes,
It'll
And
still
so-
take time to.
So everything's gonna be piped underground to each building? As far as?
Yes.
Sprinkler
so
itself?
each one has a small riser.
Okay.
To the,
How many gallons?
10,000.
10,000.
Oh, hang on, let me-
It's enough to run the sprinkler system for an hour and a half or something.
we had it
Some
in
Let
calcs.
me just double check.
What's that? It's a big thing.
It's big.
Yeah, it can't be empty. It'll
Yeah, exactly.
be another
I'm
building.
not gonna stay in here.
Underground bucket.
I take that back, I'm sorry. It's, 30,000 gallon tank.
One tank, we're all rebuilding.
So 10,000 per.
Yeah, 10,000 per building.
Okay.
Where's that showing?
Yeah, what page is that showing on? What-
C8 shows the
C8.
the tank
Okay.
underground there, yes.
Utility.
And then there's a pump house above ground that's next to that.
Yeah, it's totally. Okay, so,
Yeah.
so the,
One need 30,000 for one.
oh.
Yeah, it's 125.
All that.
That could be, that could building too, which is right on. City front.
Yeah.
Oh, that's on 50?
Yeah.
Is there any standing water in these ponds right now or not?
Anything, excuse me.
Standing water now in the detention ponds?
No.
Nothing would be checked.
No.
So this, how the water table is probably pretty high over there.
We took some test pits for the septic, and we had done some before, for the buildings themselves. Yeah, the water is,
Would you end
water
up-
table's high by the wetland.
What'd you end up with for modeling on the test pit?
What?
What was the modeling at?
Modeling the, showing where the high groundwater is.
Oh, the high groundwater was probably about 4 feet.
Was it probably about 4 feet or was it?
It's
4 feet?
It's a
4 feet from
You gotta be,
base to bottom of the
you can't
detention.
be less than 4 feet.
It was 4 feet from existing ground.
Okay. 'Cause
And
I'm saying,
we're gonna be up, we're gonna
if
be.
that septic system, it hasn't been approved yet,
Right,
and we approve anything here,
It's a
we're
raise.
gonna have to do a contingent, because if this, that might have to change, you know?
Raise.
If they don't approve it, that's a, you know,
Right.
you don't wanna come back.
Well, the thing is, if it changes,
Right.
you're gonna have to come back.
Okay.
You know?
So we do, if there is an approval tonight,
I mean,
Contingent,
if we move it away
nothing
from the
changed, you're good to go.
I got too many questions for this.
No, I said if,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm just,
No, I understand.
yeah.
I want to jump in here. I want to start by going back before the buildings are there.
Before you go, let me just, because I'm looking at soil description, and it only goes to 18 inches. And then under vegetation and hydrology conclusion, it says,
are you looking at the?
I guess that's the western, that's the
Yes.
western side.
Yeah, that's a little
So-
different than what we did. What he did was he actually did, what they call data plots that were done actually in the wetland themselves.
You didn't do for,
You will
what
do-
about plot plan?
Yeah, he will do the data plots, in pairs. So he'll do one that's definitely wetlands, then he'll do one up gradient. And in between there is where the wetland edge is,
Okay.
soils, the groundwater, and the vegetation all fall into place, and that's where your line is.
So I don't question that at all, but did you do a septic design?
Nothing
Nothing has even.
They just, they just, the area
You
with.
didn't do a test pit, because that would be.
You did do a test for this.
I did.
Perk test.
I did perk tests and, deep test holes for the septic.
Okay.
Recently.
And then his question was what model? I mean, your answer was about 4 feet. And his question was it,
Well, if it was
plus or minus,
you don't get 4 feet, you don't get it. That's what I mean. So, I mean, it's, I just, you know, and I guess we're not the board of health, but I'm trying to find out if there's gonna be a change down the road with this septic design, once it goes to Palm
Well,
Right.
so I think, look, the area of the septic is in the buffer zone, and it's in this area where it's gonna go. The elevation of it is gonna be the elevation when they finalize the design of it. They have to be 4 feet above ground, so whatever, it's just gonna be higher.
Right, but is it gonna change any contour of the?
Well, it's gonna be sloping, sure.
Yeah,
Right.
the test pits are 4 feet below existing ground. We're gonna be filling in that area anyway. So that's gonna put the septic system a little
Right,
bit more
that's why you're pumping.
higher than,
Right.
than what we,
I get that. So, Mike, do you want to,
No, I'm starting to see, my questions were gonna be, I didn't see the elevation there on page
okay,
C7.
Yep.
Again, it's tough on these,
small.
Hold
small
on.
plans.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that, you get a couple of big ones that we can look at.
we have these if you like. You want these?
Yeah, he's our technical guy. You better leave that one there.
Sure.
Between the small things and the old ours, we get, I think you put 2 pairs of glasses
I'm
on.
not even holding.
Email would not, then we can blow it up, right?
Yeah, it's,
If you want, I'll give you the full size ticket.
Give him the full size and he's gonna send email, so that's the best way to save date for the time.
We'll swap you for the small stuff.
That's more than.
well, better.
Here's the,
This, yeah.
All the drainage calcs have been, checked by Walsh.
Yeah, definitely. He's went through everything from what I got from planning board. Multiple times because it was a process. But he did give us his clean bill of health.
So building 2, behind building 2, there's no, all the parking is in the front, is that correct?
Yes. There's just emergency access.
and those detention ponds are there already?
There's one,
I think so.
1 or 2. Retention ponds, are they existing?
They are existing.
Both of them, right?
They, what happened was, apparently on the previous project, they stripped everything down. They knocked down all the gravel. They put in the detention ponds, and then left it, and that's the way it's been.
And they put them in based on the design that they were doing.
At the time, whatever that design was,
So they'll be modified and.
yeah. But that's one of the reasons why I ended up separating the roof drain, out of the overland stuff, because,
It would have been
this pond maybe could have been a little bit bigger, but, you just want to leave those as they are. And, as you come in the driveway, we're gonna use that same entrance. There's, 3 equalizer pipes that go under the road.
Yeah.
They connect one pond to the other, so it actually makes it like one pond.
Are they 16 inch?
And that's how I.
16 or 18?
That's how I modeled it.
What size pipes?
Between the two.
Are they 16 inch or 18?
Well, they were longer.
Yeah, I can't see.
That makes sense.
It's not big set.
What sheet is that?
Yes,
It is.
they're 16 inch.
Just as a point of interest, do you prefer gutters and downspouts or you like sheet flow outwards?
Well, it depends on the calculations, but.
With the volume here, I want to control the water. So
Oh, I
I
see.
got the downspouts getting it.
So you don't-
I want it into the ground. Is what I
Yeah.
want. So it sounds like you're doing the best. You're collecting it and putting it into an infiltration as opposed to splashing on the ground and hoping that it gets there.
Those are 16 inch diameter
Yeah, it's good.
plastic pipes.
So are those detention ponds catching, where's the stormwater that the town has on Morrison Drive? Where does that water go? Into those same detention ponds?
Well,
I would think that those would you be, yeah,
Well,
what
the-
happens to the street?
The street goes, there's a wetland as you come in on the left of Morrison Drive.
So you're telling me that a raindrop that is this cul-de-sac,
Yeah, the cul-de-sac, yeah.
it goes, stays on the road, goes all the way down, it
It
doesn't,
doesn't go over his driveway.
so that's going uphill, I don't know.
as you come in Morrison Drive, and you, before you get to the cul-de-sac, you take that left to go to the fire station. That cross pipe is right there, it's like a 36 inch corrugated metal pipe.
Going to here. It's on down. Any of the road catch basins dumping into these retention ponds?
No.
No, this was
They go the other way.
This was here. This was still.
Yeah, no, it's not very much.
But this is going up, this driveway's going up.
Yeah.
So it's.
The road drainage goes into,
It goes into a wetland when you first come in the project. doesn't it?
yeah, that's a separate system that goes down toward Providence,
Yes.
Providence Street.
So do we, at our last meeting, we were talking about snow storage. Do we have a designated area? Which sheet?
We revised that.
Yeah, what sheet is that?
We took all the snow storage away from the right-hand
Okay.
edge and we put it on the other side, on
Okay.
the north side of the site. And we made some tiles there.
Yeah, what page was on?
This comes to, C16
C16.
would be the, yeah, you'll see those green blocks there.
This triangle and that rectangle? In green?
Yes.
Yeah. So
So.
And that's by bituminous concrete pavement?
Yeah, they're in line.
Snow storage, protection, I think.
It is in the back. Is it-
Front also is in front.
I believe it's paved.
It might be
Yeah.
partially.
Okay, so that you don't infiltrate the snow, is that the thinking, or it's easier to
Yeah,
plow?
it'll eventually make its way into the
It's gonna
catch
clog
basin. And we wanted to get it to drain into the catch basin.
No, it's a catch basin,
Yeah.
it's a retention.
And then,
Yeah.
sanding and salting, whatever they do there, it'll stay out of the, it'll clean up before it gets into the detention pond. And there's two lines, to this drainage system for the pavement. And right before the detention pond, there's a unit on each line. It's a hydroworks unit. This sort of kind of cycles the water to spin the sediments out.
Like a vortex separator kind of?
Yes, yeah. So, and I've used them in the past, and they're actually approved in Massachusetts as an all water separator as well. Yeah, they're a good unit. They take out a lot of sediments.
It's run, because the,
No.
is it powered?
No,
No.
it's
It's like gravity.
the way it's built in the middle, there's an insert that goes in,
Balance.
and it's like centrifugal,
Or it spins like.
centrifugal, whatever. Energy comes from.
Excuse me, Bill. Could you turn to page C5?
Yeah.
Okay, so you see the proposed building, floor elevation of 29150.
Yeah.
Are these two detention ponds, are they the existing ones, or are they gonna, are you showing us what it's gonna be after the review?
Where they are right now is exactly where they're gonna stay.
But they're gonna be shaped.
Are doing any work to these?
My,
Well, that's what I'm trying to get, I want to find out.
my last look out there about a month ago was, that, they were fairly clear of brush. It was the edges. That was kind of overgrown. We'll have to probably do a little selective clearing in there to do our cuts and
Well,
fills.
that's because it says here you got a new concrete block retaining wall here.
With the details.
Sorry.
That was,
I know there was an issue with the
yeah, that's
pipes, right? Remember there was-
basically the edge of that fill.
With the pipes pitched the wrong way or something?
There was one pipe.
Right, so you're gonna replace the pipes that cross over from one detention pond to the other.
No, it's actually the second detention pond. The first one we're calling right here, on the site, on the north side of the driveway, that's the one. Number two, we'll call that number two, where those, on the south end of those equalizer pipes, that's the outlet end. So if you go to the D and U plan, number two.
Well, before we start turning pages, on this, you've got, the 4-bay and the detention pond. What's that, these two, what is one?
What I did is I created a 4-bay in there. There was never one put in. Now they require a
I
4-bay.
know all about it. What's it made of?
It's a gabions.
What is it?
They're called gabions.
Okay.
It's those,
Water mesh.
like a mesh box filled with stone.
Are they in place now?
No, they're not.
So you are gonna
We have to put
do
those
some
in
work
there.
inside these.
Yes,
You are gonna.
yes, we
Yes,
are.
so
That's
that's
part of what we have to do for the,
What's the elevation? You show, you have to place what the elevation of the bottom of this, pond is with the
the
bottom.
elevation of the bottom of the pond is about 278. And then it goes up to 279.
And the elevation of the grading is?
The top of
Bottom
it,
and the top. And on each end.
Hang on a second.
Level.
I did have that labeled, somewhere, let me check the D and E plan.
289.
289 is the bottom.
280.5 is the top of the gabions. 280.5, so you're looking at about 1.5 foot.
280,
On both ends, it's gonna be the same, it's gonna be level.
Yeah,
and the bottom of the detention pond is what?
280, 287 to 289, somewhere around there, it varies from one end to the other.
Detention pond, I'm looking at the pipe, it says
The one on
where the pipe is 277.
Oh, yeah,
This
yeah.
pond is
Yep.
gonna-
It was,
278.
Yeah,
The top of the grading is 280. Or 287. Is that what you said?
You got an invert of 278 here on the bottom of the pipe. I think we're going the wrong way on that, right?
this is at the outfall.
That pipe that goes underneath the driveway, goes from one detention base to the other.
Oh, those are actual elevations.
Right, but what is the bottom of is the bottom of the detention pond the same as the?
No, it's probably gonna be a little bit lower than that, maybe, right
Okay,
there.
so lower, not higher.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, so you get, a bit of a step here.
So anywhere in these plans, do you have, you verified and marked on the plan, bottom of the 4-bay air section and bottom of the detention pond, I believe you're calling that detention pond 1. Am I correct in saying that? Is the number?
We have elevations of the pond.
Yeah, well, we have elevations, yeah, on the plan itself. I don't have like a cross section of that area.
We'll make notes because that's what I'm gonna be asking.
Right.
Because if I can follow up on, that means that gabion is going to be sitting at the bottom. And then the top is where it
Yeah.
catches, and is that, how high is what? 4 feet? Is that 6 feet?
So we need a cross section, your cross section help?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can add that to the plan. Yeah.
Cross section.
Again, I just want to see some verification. You're gonna give these plans to a guy in an excavator and a guy that's got a site level.
He's got no information.
Where's he getting his numbers from?
Well,
I want to see a plan that he's gonna have.
Yeah, they're on the plan, it would be probably more direct and more helpful to have a cross section.
Right, a detail.
Yeah.
They're on the plan, there is elevations on the plan?
Yeah, the information is on the plan, it's just a matter of picking it out. But it might be-
It's all on the CAD, you're saying it's all on the CAD system.
Well, it's-
And plotted.
Yeah, it's shown on the plan, but again, it would be more advantageous to put it all in one spot instead of having it back. This elevation here, that elevation here.
So the dark lines are the proposed in the lighter ones, proposed elevations in the lighter ones. You can see. Yeah, kind of look at
Yep, I can do that.
Oh, confused.
Two weeks.
I understand, but where Mike's coming from is, because where does that gabion wall end or begin? If it's a couple of feet here, that can make a big difference, and that here makes a big difference.
Yeah,
Cross sections.
so I'll add a cross section under that detention area that shows that.
And then those three connected pipes are just established.
Yes. Now, the outlet pipe, by the way, you had mentioned that before, where the outlet pipe, everything comes out of outlet pipe on detention pond number 2. And what was out there existing was an 8-inch PVC pipe, but it was pitched toward our site.
It's like a site.
So I'm not sure if the pipe heaved or what happened to it, but it should be pitching away from our site. So what we're doing on our project is, we're replacing that with a 12-inch PVC pipe, and we're pitching it away from our site.
But you're holding the invert to whatever was there,
Well,
and then
I'm
you're gonna change
holding
the
the
grade of
flow.
the pipe going back.
Yeah, I'm holding the slope of that pipe and the size to equal the flow from the 8-inch. So I'm not letting any more through than what was going through before.
Gonna be changed.
The information that was available on the original design of those ponds, I have no idea where they are, and nobody seems to have them. So,
That shouldn't matter anyway, this is
Yeah,
a totally
it's
new
just one of those
project.
things.
That pipe, we've been talking about that pipe.
Dig it up and replace it, yeah.
so anyway, so that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So we're kind of get the bullet on that, and we're gonna our flow going out, so there won't be any increase in flow.
Yeah, you don't want to end up using somebody else, so they could have did it wrong.
Right.
You know, the thing is too, is that on the other side of that pipe,
It might
it
end.
flows down into the wetland and then goes under the road through an existing 36-inch corrugated metal pipe, and then into the wetland
On the other side.
down toward Providence Street. So it all ends up there.
Well, I'm wondering, you must be right with Rick, because which way the intermittent stream runs,
That's coming,
so you're at the bridge, right, that heads into the cul-de-sac.
yeah.
goes all down and the rest goes down.
Yeah, the opposite direction.
Carl, did you have any questions?
Nope.
Yeah, so section C12, when you, the facilitation barrier detail, I may want to consider maybe an additional straw bottle because it's right at the wetland side. It looks like everything's just kind of sloping down into it, so if we get a storm or whatnot, it helps secondary effect.
Maybe double it up with this.
Yeah. That's what I would do.
There's a question.
About the model doubling up.
Maybe put silt fence,
Essentially,
yeah,
silt fence.
On
You
the
got-
silt fence.
yeah.
I had, silt fence, like around the detention pond, the top of the detention pond. The consultant that reviewed this for the planning board wanted me to add the hay bales as well.
Okay.
I didn't have the hay bales in there. A lot of places don't want to use them now because of getting seeds and so forth from, you know, places that they don't want,
Yeah.
you know, and they end up propagating.
How do you use straw wall? I mean, really, that's how you get a handle.
So I put the hay bales in.
It's just on
I
the.
did ask.
Yeah, it's silt, you know.
Silt, yeah.
Yeah.
So here, let me ask
That's just like a
question.
detail for.
Oh.
I have no problem with the finished
If
product.
it's on the wetland side.
Problem with mine, I'm during construction, and you're not gonna have the luxury of building a detention pond to use as a temporary settling basin till the job is finished, because your detention pond is already built. You're going to be building this infiltration trench, which is right in the middle of everything. That's not going to allow you to use that as a temporary place to hold water.
No, we
Until
wouldn't
you
do
get
that.
all your pavement and pipes and everything together. So where's all the water going to run?
Yeah, this guy seems pretty good. when he's arguing about-
In our document that we prepared, it shows all the calculations, so part of that was the stormwater pollution prevention plan. And in that plan, we state that we're gonna be doing certain things under certain circumstances. In other words, we're gonna have temporary detention, like holding ponds, we need them to be surrounded by hay bales and lined with filter fabric, that type of thing temporarily, but we're not going to
You
use
like what
that.
I heard. I said, if you need.
Say again,
I heard the word if you need it come out of your mouth.
as we need them.
As we need it. So,
Yes.
because I'm familiar with the stormwater plans that are very, there are no plans, and now you're referring.
Well, it's a
to-
document, it's a document.
I understand, and as an emergency, you'll have hay bales on site, you gotta have everything that EPA requires. But that still doesn't answer my question, where is the water going to run after you've grubbed and stumped everything? Is it all coming sheet flow to one area?
Well, right now, it's
Thirty rubbed and stumped from.
It's just
It's already level.
it's crushed
Well,
stone.
that's the good news.
Yeah.
And it's relatively flat.
But we need to establish ponds. Well, one of the first things. we do-
Temporary,
Temporary.
temporary.
Utilizing, so we're not.
Like temporary filtration ponds, that type of thing if you need.
Right, so that's what I would like to see, a little forethought, rather than giving you the order of conditions, saying, you guys will do everything you need. If you know you're gonna need those temporary, I would like a sheet
Yeah.
showing what your temporary erosion.
During construction.
Yeah.
Temporary filtration ponds.
Bingo.
We're digging the footings and we have to have someplace for the water to go.
Well, we gotta go somewhere. It's a big site and it's a kind of a tight site and all you got are the two sides, really, right? So a little forethought.
So, you have a detail on C12 of silt fence at the toe of the slope.
Yeah.
So where that abuts the buffer zone, we'd like to see straw wall behind the silt fence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wherever the silt fence is.
Those are
Yeah, yeah,
On the wetland side.
Yes.
yes.
Just the wetlands.
As long as you get- just-
Any other details you want added from when they come back?
Oh, yeah, a lot. I gotta see more elevations. They can start by out in Morrison Road, taking tying in the existing catch basins, frame and covers to get a rim elevation. So we can say, okay, if, for something to talk about, the rim elevation of catch basin one right here. Being on the side, same side of the street.
Okay, so you writing that down?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
You catch what he said?
CB one, he shows the elevations, you want data.
Yeah, I'm giving an example. I want to be able to look at this plan, see the elevations of this road.
He wants to know the elevation of the
Rim
road.
elevation.
Gotcha.
You understand what
Yes.
I'm?
And we know the elevation of the
That
road.
right there, when I see elevations, going throughout the site,
You know, you're
in
talking.
my mind, I can picture back to the road, how it's gonna look into the road.
They have some elevations on the, on plan C3 that show, a part of the road that we're tying into. They don't show the road.
What elevations do they show?
They're showing, some contours over here. I believe there's some spot elevations here too.
Does it say what they are? Numbers?
And then
I did
as
see
you,
pins.
then as you
I
go
don't know.
into the site, you give us you give us the elevation of the finished floor. So there's that,
Okay.
what do you call it, that, strip in the back, I think that, talking about.
Parking area?
Behind those.
This area.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's gonna be up against the, I know the elevation of the finished floor.
Yeah.
I don't know the elevation at the end of the strip. I want to be able to look at the elevation in the picture, look at slope. I can't do that now because you're not giving me any.
Great.
You know what I mean? So I guess what I'm saying, I said it earlier, I would like to see the elevations on the print that you would hand civil contractor
It's a great.
to go build that and grade it out. Follow what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
I don't know if I can make it.
No, it's not.
But the catch basins are already there on the street.
Right, he
You
wants to
want to know the rim grade, when you take a reading from there with your laser, you want to know
You put it on the plan.
what the elevation of the catch basin
Can you
is.
put the elevations of the catch basins on the plan?
They can use them for benchmarks.
Yeah.
So we can use them as a reference point.
Yeah.
That's existing.
I would rather not do that because we have benchmarks on the site that we.
That's what I
We
want
have
to
to tie
say.
it in.
We're not looking for you to use that as an instrument.
Not, yeah, not for benchmark, for review purposes only, doesn't need to be so precise.
Well, quite
I think it
frankly,
should be.
quite frankly, it should be precise. What is so hard about shooting the grade? This isn't your first building you built, is it? You've been in the developing game for a while.
Not, no,
I-
no.
Bill, yeah.
Okay, so I believe the way you're looking at me, you understand what I want to say.
Absolutely.
Make your engineer understand.
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah, we'll get it.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We'll get it
It's easy.
done.
I don't want to talk in circles anymore. I want to see some serious grading here, so that when I look at it, I know I don't look like much, but I do have the ability to look at grades and see it.
Now, how does
It's
it,
how
how does
it
it
works.
work? It's tie things together, so it's, someone made.
Well,
a
just
mistake.
make his, our life easier and make your life move along quicker.
Gotcha.
Thank you very much.
So once you have, your septic designed and approved, yeah, you definitely want to come back for, well, you can send in the information, we can take a look at it, and then,
Cross section on
Yeah.
detention.
Yeah, he's got all
that.
and then we'll just get back on the agenda.
Thank you.
Okay, and I'm gonna, if you don't mind, keep these,
Yep, sure.
supply the board with at least one more full set of upgrade with what I'm looking for. I'm gonna call this draft one.
Okay.
So I can look back and forth to see the changes.
Yep, sense.
And, we'll email them over to you. So we'll have that.
Yeah, I think that way there, I guess if the Board of Health gets there, they approve the septic, and you know that everything's gonna be,
Where it is, yeah.
yeah, I mean, not that it's gonna change much, but our end, but it's still gonna change. The plans are gonna have to be, might as well make them look right.
Are we, so, Okay.
So, when you know you, are ready, you can just go, get on the agenda.
This should all be put together by the end of next week.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So we'll,
So,
yeah,
we'll
We'll
want to,
continue the hearing until our next meeting.
why don't we put it on the next meeting, probably just so it's on there.
Yeah.
And that way there.
are you agreeable to a continuance?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion.
You made the motion, I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None?
Yes,
Thank you.
Thanks, Al.
Grab that one other sheet we got there too.
Thanks, Al.
Thank you.
That goes with the full set.
Oh, okay.
Do you have a business card?
Oh, yes.
I left them placeholders.
That way, if you've got any questions, you guys can talk. That works for you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
So do we have, Mr. Hutchinson's plan?
Yes.
We have a check here from Lynn. Butters list? Don't do a butters list? Green cards?
A butters list to send out the green cards.
Bill coming? No.
He thought it was, he was told it was the 12th. I called Paul and
I talked to him the other day. Told him it was-
Okay, so, all right, so we're 56 Uxbridge Road. We have the plan. We have a file number. When you contact Bill, could you get us the green cards via butter?
okay.
Okay. Is there anybody here for 56 Uxbridge Road? Okay. Have you seen a plan at all?
You wanna come around here and look?
Sure, I'll take the.
No, better than I do.
He's gonna tell you.
And,
Some kind of like cable and
your address?
and go like.
Yeah.
So you're going to improve the sideline setbacks. Right? You're gonna 15 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hang on a second.
There's only. Is that the proposed plan or existing?
The right-hand side is proposed. This is existing. This is proposed, so this is the new plan.
Actually, it's going further away from,
And then what sort of wall? It's like a concrete wall? How tall is it gonna be, like on the west side? Like 4 foot, 6 feet?
Yeah, they,
It's a Jersey barrier. You talk about.
Proposed retaining stone or concrete block, so you got. Oh, I guess that is, the wing walls. right?
Is existing?
What is that?
92. He's moving to 15 feet right now.
Bringing it back.
Oh, that's wrong. He's actually getting this house into.
Are you going for a variance on this too? You going to VBA?
No, I think so.
So he's showing it 15 feet from the sideline. Current zoning is 20.
Correct, but it's been, everybody, it's supposed to be grandfathered, right, from
Not when you,
existing.
not when you move the structure, no. It's grandfathered where it is, so you wouldn't have to go to ZBA if you're gonna go 15.
Okay, so do we need to go to ZBA before we come here?
Well, you could do it at the same time if it's not gonna change.
It might change,
Yeah.
but.
If ZBA says, you know, why don't you go this way or that way? So, I see you're centering it on the lot, so you're maintaining 15 feet on each side. So you really should go to ZBA first. You know, that would be wise, because, you know, you're asking for relief.
Yeah, if they don't approve, you might have to go back to the same footprint.
Okay.
That's all.
That-
But you will
that's
be
why I
you will be
asked
here.
If it was the same
I would
footprint.
think you would, because
Same footprint.
you're improving it, right,
I mean,
because the
it's
existing
definitely
setback
better
is
in
only,
It's
Thing
8
is-
feet, so
Yeah.
you're improving it from that neighbor.
Right.
You're making it worse for the other neighbor, but that's under your current ownership, but that shouldn't matter, so. The legality is you're supposed to be 15 feet off, so you gotta build a narrower house, right?
It's supposed to be 20 feet off.
It's 20 feet, right?
I mean, you could, if you wanted to, you know, narrow the house 10 more feet, which is probably not a good thing, because the house is kind of narrow as it is. You could do that, as long as you can then conform to your 20-foot sideline, but, you know, you can go to zoning, and I'm sure that you are making the area better, which is probably a good thing.
But they only got
We-
49 feet of frontage, so if you take
yeah,
out
we can't.
20 feet on one side.
Yeah,
20 on the
yeah,
other,
you kinda
got
limited.
9 feet wide.
Yeah.
That shouldn't matter.
But that's how the lots are on the lake.
Yeah,
You
that's
got,
how
then
they
you got what you got.
Okay, we'll go to the zoning board of.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cut and dry, I think, but I mean, I think something you probably should have them give you your blessing before you,
Okay.
Just
we
continue,
approve.
because you've already paid for it, right? So.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just continue, we'll continue it. If you want to continue it to the next meeting, and even though you might not be there, but we can continue it. Or if you want to continue it to,
Well, from what I understand,
Yeah.
from what Bill said, he was understanding that we were on for the 12th. But when I checked the agenda this morning,
Oh, you're
the
talking-
agenda had us on for the 5th. So it was never,
My recommendation, let's just extend it from meeting to meeting. As soon as you get the ZBA,
there you go.
we'll close the hearing and
Yeah,
but then how far do we have to notify in advance to get on?
you don't. You're already
I'm gonna
on the
continue it
agenda.
every-
Oh, you're gonna continue
so you
it
just
to?
call us or send us an email when you get
Yeah.
all done with zoning.
Okay.
And say, okay, I can be on the next meeting, because you're gonna have a 21-day appeal period for the zoning, I think. So,
So let's say, we're gonna schedule you for our next meeting.
Okay,
then I'll just keep
And
continuing.
you're not on, and you haven't got to the ZBA yet.
when is the next, do you know when the next ZBA is on?
So,
If you haven't gone to the ZBA yet, call and say, please extend, you know, reschedule us to the next meeting.
Okay,
And we will keep doing, you're not gonna lose your place in line.
okay.
That's a bad example, but.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're saying, yes.
yeah, we'll always have you on this, as soon as you're ready to be good to go.
Right, ZBA is making sure. Oh, wow.
I'm just gonna see when,
So my other question is, we did get approval from the historic commission as far as, and we do have our demo permit. So can we start demolition?
you can't do any demolition until the notice of intent. You gotta have to get everything done.
Is this, are you keeping this house, or is this house for sale?
No, we're keeping it.
So, yeah, we would recommend you get on the ZBA that way. you're not coming,
Go.
you don't have to refile if things changed.
So, so our next meeting is the 26th here, for the conservation.
Oh, for concert, it's the
Yeah.
26th,
Yeah,
no
the
12?
12th, we probably, since we have one this week, and we probably won't have one next week.
It's gonna take you,
It's gonna take
ZBA
you-
only meets once a month,
Oh,
so you gotta find out when the ZBA agenda is, get on that. Fill out the page, fill out your application, go to the ZBA, get on their agenda, and then come back in.
But we'll continue until the 26th, so that at least,
You're on.
then we'll continue it again after that.
okay.
Are you okay with the continuance tonight? Okay, do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
All right,
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Al?
You're welcome.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, thanks, guys.
Do you want these back or?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
want to keep them?
But
or-
when you come the next time, we'll then, just in case anything changes, there's no sense of us having multiple plans
Yeah.
if the
Oh,
ZBA.
that's true.
All
Yeah,
right,
in
thank
case
you.
something changes, all right, thanks.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank
Have
you.
a good night. What do you got to say?
So, let's see, we have,
See that little envelope in front of you?
is this, is anyone from, Benson Road here? What was that? Benson Road, there was a partial release someone was looking for.
Yeah.
Nobody's here to,
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look back and do.
I don't see.
I don't recall anything with Vincent. Oh, was there an email from somebody?
Yeah, it was,
I
yeah.
don't see any
Check it
paperwork
out.
on
No. All right, well, we'll have to.
I'm playing
see.
catch up.
So I got the paperwork here for, Fonzo, Pond Street.
Yeah, we talked about that already. We are waiting for an as-built too, because that was the last conversation when they were here last time. We were looking for he had the check amount for $5,000 that he was putting up.
Yep,
And we were looking for the as-built of what was done.
okay.
And then we were gonna attach it to the request
Okay.
here,
I
see if
have-
anybody wanted to add to, I know maybe Ann or maybe wanted to comment, I'm not sure, but I see Ann is on. Ann, did you have any thing you wanted to input for Pond Street?
I don't think so. I think we got the check and the seeds will be going in. I mean, the only thing was like moving the sign, but I think he's done everything. Has anybody looked at the site on conservation?
That looks great.
I was by there yesterday. Fence looks nice. I mean, if,
He
as long,
he brought in all photos last time he was here.
yeah, I mean, as long as you're comfortable with the way everything has gone down and, I mean, you have been, part of this project and as long as you're happy with it and Metacomet's happy, the land, people are happy with it, then I guess we're,
As long as the neighbors are happy with it.
well, yeah, the neighbor's happy with it.
I haven't heard, Adam.
And,
I don't know. I have not talked to them.
That's a
okay,
good sign.
we haven't had any complaints and they were on the agenda for tonight. So if somebody was here, they probably would have, if somebody would have came if they had an issue, I would think.
Yeah, I think he's done everything pretty much.
So all we need, all we're looking for is an as-built. So you have the check in?
Check order.
I think you guys got the check and it got put in an account. No? Did he bring a check to the
Yes,
meeting?
it did. It was actually, I think the quote, was- I mean, I think everything was paid.
Yeah. The money, yes, we have the money. Yeah, because we put a deposit down.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
for the seeds. Yep.
So does someone want to make a motion so we sign this document and release it after we get the as-built?
That's fine.
So do I hear a motion?
I'll second.
Okay, so we
We're
have,
releasing it after we do the.
Okay,
we have a motion by Mike Amanda Lynn, we have a second by Peter for 34 George Street, certificate of compliance, just pending an as-built to be submitted for release of the certificate. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Why don't we, this is an old thing.
Yeah, it's
that
really,
encumbers people's property by a road file.
exactly.
So, why don't we make a motion? We don't have a, we don't have form, is it Form A?
Form B.
B?
Well,
For
request,
Vincent Road.
requested for Form A. What I can do is we can email them, I'll have them fill it out,
Okay,
and they can get it to us at the next meeting.
okay.
We can decide it then. Basically, what we're having now, until we have an admin, not telling anybody to bring the documents in.
Yeah.
Filled out and ready for signature, like they did like this.
Yeah, so no, it's our first, they just sent the deed.
Okay, so do I hear a motion for 39 Vincent Road? It's basically, it's a partial release for orders of conditions that have encumbered people's properties for an older subdivision, for a filing that was for a road construction. It was built a long time ago,
30
and
years
it still encumbers their property. So do I hear a motion
So moved.
for a release? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
That's 39 Vincent Road.
Yep.
Now,
Yeah, from 1998.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we've done.
You have paperwork to sign?
No,
that's what I'm
we
gonna-
don't have the form, but I just wanted to take a vote on, so then we'll, if someone might be closing on a house or something, so they'll have to get us the form, we'll have to stop it and sign it.
yeah, now
It's on record there.
yeah, we put it in the mailbox, and then you guys, we can all stop it.
Okay.
I have it on the same situation here, Mike, I think it, Tim. This is 8 Leonard Road.
Okay, so that we have. Is that the same thing?
I don't, oh, you,
So 8 Leonard Road, certificate of compliance.
yeah, so this was back in 1999.
Okay, okay.
Oh, were those the ones that just came in?
No, yes.
Okay, so you have the same.
Yeah. Okay, so,
Oh,
all right, so we have the same request by a homeowner from a project that was constructed quite a few years ago. It's an order of conditions that's encumbering their property. They do have the paperwork here for a certificate of compliance. It is 8 Leonard Road. And it's back from 1999.
I'll make a motion that we issue.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
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 All opposed? None?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
So you gotta. So we keep that straight, get that other one.
Let me just pass this around.
Okay, you get the other one too, though?
Or, there's 2 of them, right?
Yeah, I just gave, Mike and I just signed it.
Oh,
Other one.
yeah. This one here. Was it 2 order numbers, David?
There was Leonard Road and there was, in Vincent, right?
Yeah, I got.
Oh, no, I gave you, I'm sorry, I gave you,
This is a duplicate, this is a duplicate.
Yeah, it's a duplicate, sorry, I just printed out the copy.
no, I gave you, Pond Street.
Yeah, I have one. Okay. You just pass this one around, this is mine. Okay. This is- So we have, so.
That's the one that I just.
149.
Oh,
So civil site engineering.
Scanned in OI, yeah.
Is there?
Yeah, I downloaded the files, it's like. Yeah, so,
All right, so we will, I'll entertain a motion to continue 149 Oxford Road. We don't have any representation here.
So move.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Well, no, it's an announcement.
Yeah.
So the owner is Davis Realty LLC.
Where is 149?
North 200 feet, 200 foot. Oh, this is, oh, no, you know what? This is, this is.
Firewood place?
Yes, she's not, Margaret's not here to represent.
Oh, the fire where the guy.
Yeah, because there's a wetland across the street. That's why they filed. That's what it is.
yeah, so all the files are in the SharePoint, I can email it to if you guys want to.
So we'll have to reach out to Margaret. Maybe she didn't realize that the meeting was tonight.
Yeah, maybe.
So we'll say, okay.
There was some emails going back and forth.
Yeah, there were.
All right,
When's the next meeting?
26th.
26th.
Yeah, maybe let her know that the next meeting is the 26th.
Okay.
And, in the audience, you're here for what reason? Just, see what we're doing?
Buddy Brook is,
That's continued.
Yeah, he's here, but,
yeah,
Oh, yeah, we did.
but it
announce
says there's ecological concerns. Information on that.
Sure.
Well, we can't really,
No?
it's not here.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Oh, yeah, it's private discussion.
Yeah, I announced it at the beginning that they called in and,
Oh, I didn't hear that. Did you hear that, Chris?
Well, I came and found it.
No money.
although why can't we share information? We
Yeah,
were
it's
saying
It's not a hearing.
It's not a public hearing, it's for discussion.
It's not a
Oh,
I mean, not, the hearing's not open, it's not supposed to be discussed.
So, I mean, this has been like 3 months, so how much longer?
They're doing some, that's the problem.
They've had to revise their plan because they
Yeah.
found some information that has been changed to lot lines.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet, so.
are you residents of,
I'm in a butter.
you're in a vote, okay.
And the concern is throughout our neighborhood, okay, of Daniels Road, is that they're saying they're gonna start building this summer.
Well, they're not gonna do
They're not
anything
gonna
until
do
they get
anything,
approved.
they're not gonna do anything until it comes through here and they get order of conditions.
Okay, and my next question is, via you guys approving it and moving on, do they need to go back to the planning board? We're just trying to get an idea of what the progress is.
Is this approved through the planning board, this project?
I don't know, because they don't have the final, they just found this, no.
Oh, so they're just
nothing-
starting.
Yeah, it's a continuation until they get their plans done, and then it'll be straight.
Okay, see, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm sorry, if, you know,
No,
No,
no, so,
unfortunately, we can't talk about it without them here and then opening the hearing.
but again, I mean, this has been,
And it could be another 6 months.
could be another 7 years.
Could be, yeah.
they need to go through, planning board first for design.
Well, once, I think what they're trying to do is find out what they're doing here with their, because they think it was a vernal pool. So there's the situations that they found something there that they have to move and redesign a lot of things.
Okay.
We've had no public hearing on this project at all, is that correct?
There was a public hearing.
We did
There
that,
was.
yes. But they just keep continuing it because they're not ready, they don't have the proper documentation to come in front of us and make a presentation that's worthy.
So could that public hearing also be presented if it goes back to the planning board? We're just trying to understand the road.
Yeah, you'll probably be going,
If you're in a butter, you're gonna get notice with the planning board. You'll be on the notification list.
well, I don't, it might be continued at planning board as of right now, I forget, but,
So if it was already a public hearing, you've already been notified once, is that correct? Okay, so what I'm gonna recommend to you is keep your eye on the agendas for planning and conservation to see if they come back on the agenda, and then.
So, quick question, okay? So when we see an agenda like this and it says continue, okay, and you see something on there, it says, you know, this and this and this, how do we find out whether to be?
Unfortunately, you don't.
They did it at the last minute, they continued it.
I talked to Ellen the other day because she posts a lot.
They put it on the agenda, and if we have the information, we could act on it. If they're not ready, they might call us, or they just might not show up.
They did send an email, but it was just later before because after we already had the agenda done.
Don't they have to do that in 48 hours before tonight's meeting?
Well, they can 48 hours, but we did the agenda before 48 hours.
Right.
So you have to have the agenda out before.
It's just for new items, but for continuous.
Yeah.
it's just-
If they're not prepared, they're not prepared.
Okay, because when we see, I'm just educational for
Yeah,
us. When you see it says revised, and I know Ellen revises it, we don't know what's revised, what organization revised. So I have a whole neighborhood that's involved in this, and I'm just trying to keep
Right.
everybody together and understand. A lot of people aren't here tonight because they're doing their own thing. So I said, as long as one or two of us are here, but then, when we see something like this, can we call, like this?
Unfortunately, we don't have clerk. Clerk would be on it and would be able to tell you, no bother coming.
Where's the clerk, Emily?
Yes.
That's no longer,
Correct.
unfortunately.
She's working full-time.
I know that, she told me. Okay, but other than that, would Ellen know?
Yes, you could ask Ellen, yeah, because she's here full-time.
Right.
So you can make the phone call the day of and say, if you get any surprises, from, money,
Right, 'cause
Money Brook.
that would help our neighborhood.
right. It saves you, if you got something going on, you don't have to come here for
That's right.
nothing. And I'm sorry that, he did say it, but I apologize. I was gonna say something to you, I knew I saw you back there, and I'm like, well, maybe she just appeared to hang out.
No.
What do you bring to you out?
Well, I discussed it, a
Thank
concern.
you.
Thank you, have a good night.
So,
What's that?
Are you ready for me?
Yeah, come on up.
Yeah, I think so. And we're ready?
Yes. Sure. Just state your name and your address, please.
Cheryl Bullock, 9 Edward Road.
He just wanted to come to the meeting, he had concerns about, he's getting excess water from the solar field. On the south side, he's on Edward Road, and on the solar field goes in like this. He's over here, and the water, he's getting pooling up water, is the stone wall, are you
It's a
through the
stone-
stone wall?
That's my property line,
Okay.
is that stone wall.
He has some
And
photos.
there's like a 60-foot, 50-foot buffer, and then the solar field. This is the solar field that's behind the soccer.
So you're
So
looking down,
Can I see the photos and I'll pass it?
Absolutely.
look, if you're looking down from the soccer field, you're on the left side, down in the left-hand corner, right, Edward Road.
Right, that's correct, yes. And actually, I'm more behind the solar field, not the soccer field.
Okay. You're down in that bottom corner, your land comes in somewhere. You get water over there.
Well, last July, I guess we had a lot of rain. But that stone wall, it was just a flow of, like a river come down through.
Really?
But my wife and I, in the fall, walked over into the area, see what was going on, and we just sunk right into our knees into it. In October, there was a tree that was uprooted and came across the property, missed our deck, probably about 20 foot or something like that. And it was because it was all waterlogged. We never had a tree fall like that. All the other trees are gone, so they've lost.
That all pitches towards your house from the solar
Take a
field.
look at the pictures.
Yeah. And so, in
It looks
addition,
pretty flat.
there's pardon me?
Looks pretty flat. Are you about the same elevation or are they?
I'm a little bit lower.
You're a little low.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is coming.
You can't see that. This is my wife, Patricia.
Hi, Patricia.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
So we're a little bit lower. And what has happened too is looks like a wetland has developed. There's a standing water that's 2 feet from,
And that's on their property?
that's on their property, right? See, our property is that stone wall. So anything on the other side, just about 60 foot of.
So the tree, when the tree fell, did you contact someone from there?
I contacted the project engineer and they're very cooperative. She had someone out there right away and they took care of the tree, kind of dug up the lawn and all that stuff. But At least they
Yeah.
took care of the tree. And that's one of the photographs shows the tree down. Another photograph shows how they took care of the tree, you know, and now it's kind of open.
They left the tree on the other side. They had to approach the tree from our property because it's too wet over
It was
there.
too wet from the other side to bring in the equipment from that side. So they had to come in our side. Get rid of it.
Did you mention to the site engineer about the water issues?
No, I mean, this was like, you know, I had that one case of the water, just, I had videos of it, of just flowing down through. You want to see the video?
You can see, it looks like a river.
Yeah, just a river.
Right.
Running down
Same.
through. So I
So
was,
there was a berm, and they put plants on top of the berm to stop the visual effects. Right?
the evergreens, yes.
Yeah.
But it probably didn't help the drainage.
Well, the other side, this side of those trees is where they have, how many feet is that from the block? From the bales?
Well, we're about 50 foot.
Right,
Yeah.
but where the bales and hay are still black.
The environment, middle barrier, I guess.
Yes.
On the other side of that, that's just flat before the road. And,
Filled it in with wood chips, mulch or
but that's
ground-ups.
mud, it's just,
Can we ask them to come in?
Yeah, we probably should, because it's gonna require a site visit, because the real challenge is if there is a pond, they are not achieving positive drainage on their sites. And if it's ponding up enough to cause mosquitoes, that could be a health concern.
Yes.
If it's ponding up enough, is it raising the groundwater, causing the trees to fall over? That's gonna be hard to prove. So the positive drainage, you can get this.
Before that solar field was there, that water was probably flowing down onto that property. And now they're gonna berm there, they raise the elevation, so now that's a low spot in the property. But it's their property, not your property, right?
Right. Now, about two houses down from us, further down the slope.
Yeah.
The woman mentioned that this is the first time she's had water in her basement. So, you know, maybe that's another indication something's not right.
Yeah. Got it.
Well,
Let's see if we can get them in
but
here.
this tree that came down was a beautiful, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it looks
Yeah,
nice.
no, it's a big red oak.
It just completely.
Well, those pine tree, I mean, those are.
There wasn't a pine tree.
No, those are weak, but that was like
It's a big red oak.
Yeah.
My concern is, you know, that tree missed us. How about the next one that
Understood, yeah.
comes down?
No, I agree. There's a safety issue over there, then something needs, will happen.
How did you, so you got a hold of the site engineer? You have her
Well,
contact?
I guess, I don't know if you're site engineer or project engineer. Actually, I called, is it Gail?
Yeah.
The
Building, yeah.
planning board here, okay, and she gave me the telephone number. So what was interesting too is that around the fence, they have a sign there saying, in case of emergency, call such and such. So I called it, and the response, or the message I got, that this mailbox has not been set up. So that was in October. But since then, I guess they've.
So we can get the phone number from Gail, or I probably have emails back and forth with those. So, well, yeah, we'll try to get them in here.
I mean, in that site,
Oh, you have her number?
engineer, I think I have her number. She was very responsive,
Yeah.
and very much so, you know.
Because isn't it very close to further down where we ran into problems with the erosion?
Yeah, this is that blue water.
And then that's all on hold because they're new owners and they might be for development. But there's still major erosion in the wetlands. And was it from them Was
I
that
think it's
extra
a-
water
I
from the
think it's-
soccer
I
field?
think it's
Was it extra
combination.
water from the solar panels? Is
I
that-
think it's a combination of everybody. You can't disturb that much earth and not expect,
Well, the thing is that, and that's a low spot there. And if
Yeah.
the water,
Yeah.
if the water from the front of your house is draining towards the back of their house, and there's no place for it to go,
Yeah.
I mean, you can blame everybody you want, but it's a low spot, and there's no escape for it. There's one of your problems.
We're lucky that the water
So-
goes down like.
I don't know,
The length
I don't know her last name.
at the wall,
yeah.
at the wall, but he has a picture of that.
You want to put it on here, David?
Oh, yeah.
This is his name and.
Okay, yeah.
I don't.
So you put 6.
I was against it.
6-0.
You're against.
They
Two
ranked
seven,
land.
and I guess it's Boer.
What's worse, killing the trees, you make solar.
Okay. I'm trying to get a hold of it together. Oh, I have it?
It's the way of the future. It's so.
Well, fine, but don't take the trees
Zero,
down.
zero, 3,
I agree, first anything?
Jeremy.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll get a hold of her, see if we can get her to come in at the next meeting on the 26th. I'll give you a call and let you know, and then you guys, we can all. work it out.
Ann, you have your hand raised?
Yes.
It was on the last topic, so once you finish with them and then,
Okay.
Sorry about that, I didn't know.
Okay, so we're gonna try to reach out to them,
Wonderful.
yeah, maybe we can invite you to the next, when they can show up, or we can get somebody, a representative from there
Wonderful.
to maybe address it, and we'll let you know.
Please keep asking me to show you the video. Do you want to see the video of the stream, the water?
I get what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So you
You
can
know what? You
Yeah,
know what we'll do, when we do have this, when
Yeah,
we do get
save
them in
that.
here,
so we
save the
can show the
video.
engineer.
Okay.
We'll talk
All
about it with them and see if we can resolve this for you.
All right, yeah, I didn't know where this would go, if I could bring this up or.
We don't want you sitting on your deck worried about if a tree's gonna fall down, on somebody else's property.
Wonderful.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, thanks for
Thank
hanging
you.
in.
Thank you so much.
It's been very interesting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, interesting, all right.
No. And so did you have a question about the previous topic?
well, it was on the Muddy Brook Estates property.
Okay.
We don't have
Didn't-
a hearing tonight, though.
Right, but at the last meeting, did you request for them to verify whether or not that was a vernal pool?
They're working on all that right now. That's why this continued. They actually, I think they're moving everything. And I don't even think any of that stuff is gonna be in the wetlands anymore. They actually have to get rid of one of the lots. It's, something to do with a salamander or
If there is a vernal.
wood frog, or bullfrog or something. Yeah, there's a couple animals. Wood frog.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a couple animals out there, so that'll come up at the next meeting, but
So they must be redesigning.
they are,
Yeah,
they
that's
are.
what it says. It's a,
There was a
it's
salamander,
wood
there's two
turtle,
animals, right?
wood turtle,
Wood turtle.
which is underneath that as endangered, so
Yeah,
that's the way.
so that kind of changes the whole ballgame over there.
Yeah.
Which is good, to get them out of the buffer zone and everything, that's aggravation for us.
They're not gonna use the isolated wetland for detention.
No, they're not, the vernal pool or whatever it is, no, they're actually, I think, well, we'll see what happens, we don't even know. Anything else, Ann?
Well, the 85 Millville Road in the letter,
Yeah,
did you guys look at it to see if it works and could you send it out? And if you need help sending it out, I can do that.
okay, thanks, Ann, 1 second.
I think the letter's fine, but I would like to add in it, because the first paragraph, as you're probably aware, blah, blah, blah. And then the next paragraph starts off, it has come to our attention. Right after that, I believe we should state, it has come to our attention from the Meadowbrook Upland Monitoring. We should let them know how it came to our attention. And we should include the report.
Okay.
Because we are now saying there's a complaint. And you have to show, you just can't say it, if there's a complaint, when they say, oh, really, let me see it, we gotta be able to, so,
Here's your complaint.
here's the complaint, here's all the information.
That's what, that Metacom in?
Oh.
Yeah,
Copy of a copy of the report.
Yeah, so if we could put the report with the letter, and they still know that the complaint is coming from the land trust, right?
Well, it's coming from the Meadowbrook Upland monitoring report, which is included, I would say the report is attached.
Okay.
So when they read the report, they'll get the full picture of what's happened.
You want to put that together, Ann?
yeah, I can do
If
that.
you want to get it out there, that would be a big help to us. when we
Yeah,
don't
and
have-
then, yep, and then, I guess you would have to sign it, right?
Yep, if you want, then if you get it done, I can meet up with you, we can sign it and get that taken care of, if that works for
All
you.
right. Yep. The only thing is when is your next meeting? I said that, they should come to the May 19th meeting, but your next meeting is May 26th?
26th, yes, we don't,
Okay.
we were supposed to have one last week, that's why we bumped it to this week. But the 12th, we won't have one, but we'll have one on the 26th.
26th. Okay, so I will, pull the letter together and then I'll get it to you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, so.
I did there, yeah,
So we have one more item, it's, 7 Taft Ave, the order of conditions is in. Did we have a plan for this, or, did you already review, I wasn't.
Yeah, that was, I can't even say it.
You reviewed it, okay, all right, so we were just waiting for the order of conditions, is that correct?
I'm not familiar with the site at all, so let's do it for myself.
Okay, so this was a demolition of a single family house. Yes, so the, this is the order of conditions.
The engineer.
Yeah, the engineer, so this is the, so, you guys reviewed it at the last meeting, so.
Let me see.
I had to change everything to use my project.
Okay, so we're noting that Damon is abstaining, he's involved. This,
Yeah. I asked my sister. I paid for it, she goes.
Well, is this an order of conditions for just that? Because we didn't want to give, she didn't want to give you an order to demolish it.
it wasn't the
So
order of
we wanted
conditions,
to
we didn't have a
know
number
for
yet.
building a new one.
No, we didn't have a number yet for the whole thing.
It's not just a demo, it's for building a new house.
Right.
And you do the house, you gotta put more with that. So as I remember the question, I wanted some erosion control up front after you've done the bulk of the demolition.
That's why you make a motion.
Well, I
When you
can.
make a motion, let's add. The last meeting date was,
7th, April 7th.
April 7th.
Yes.
Because there was a plan, so it should also be revise the plan to show where that additional erosion control
It's all
will be
there.
located. It's all there. Okay.
Okay, so we have, the order of conditions is in, that was not completed yet from the state, wasn't in from the state yet. On 7 Old Taft Ave, it was reviewed at the April 7th meeting. The order of conditions is here. Do I hear a motion or any conditions with a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Mike. Do I have a second? Carl, were you here for that hearing?
No, that was the one day I was absent.
Same.
You can step down and go.
So,
So do you want me to make my additional?
yes, so you're gonna second it?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a second by Peter.
Now discussion. Now we're going to discuss.
Yes, so, discussion.
Okay, as discussed at the hearing, it's a very tight site. There's a couple phases needed, so they showed erosion at the edge of the property. I think we have to, like, move it to the other side of the road. Get that's in control. Do your demo, and everything's gonna get removed. And after it's demoed, put erosion another on the inside, limit your construction area and tighten it up.
So, you're looking for another row of erosion control in between.
After demolition is completed,
Yeah.
an additional line of erosion
Okay.
before the road.
Before the road?
Yes.
Oh, I see, that's right. So, yeah. Okay. So we have a.
Is there a well going in or you have a well?
There is one.
Did we do some extra protection
It's like
around
on
the
the
well?
left side, but yeah.
Our standard.
Yeah, standard, silt fence around the drawing of the well site. Okay, so, we have a motion, we have a second. I'll step down as chair to, vote for, and for an all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carl Hummel, yes.
Yes.
All in favor? None opposed? Thank you.
Note that I abstained.
And David, I did. David abstained.
I wrote it down.
Thank you.
So, the, plan set for this, we just got attached to this and, Gary has the original cards that were presented from April 7th
Actually, they might be here.
in the office.
Because if that Emily was here for that one. And the plan is there too. Well, I mean, I don't know. We didn't have-
Okay, so, I think, that pretty much covers our meeting.
Okay.
Right?
Can we talk just a little bit about clerk?
Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
leave this first. Those are finished.
Motion to adjourn?
Yeah, motion to adjourn?
Aye.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Favor.
Aye.